all year round is finally upon us. It's the game that's probably going to decide the Atlantic Division. Just talk about going down there as a 3-touchdown underdog.
Yeah, hey, they're a good team. As y'all know, they're the number one team in the country now. And we're going down there. We look at it as an opportunity. It's not every year that not everyone gets to play the number one team in the country. So it's a big opportunity for us. We're looking to go down there and take advantage of it and play the best we can.
When you go back to last year and you look at the turnovers, first play of the game, the fumble by Taj, do you think things could have been different if it hadn't been for those turnovers?
I mean, it's hard to say, but to be honest with you, when you turn the ball over that many times, it's hard to win a game. The turnover margin is a huge part of the game. That's something that you need to win, especially when you're playing against a good team. And especially as we're going down to play at their place, turnover margin is huge. The number of big plays is huge. And really just the margin for error is a lot smaller. Obviously on the road, but playing such a good team as well. So it's hard to say, but you can't really win a game with that many turnovers. Hard, very hard.
Does it make a loss even harder to deal with when you look at the way you lost it last year? I mean, you hadn't even broken a sweat yet, and you're down 17 to a great team. I mean, Coach Sweeney keeps saying over and over, you really just never gave yourselves a chance even to compete last year.
Does that make the game this year harder?
What did it make last year? Is a loss like that even more frustrating when you kind of lose it in that manner, to where you just never really gave yourselves a chance to kind of get the flow of things?
Yeah, I mean, it's always frustrating, when something like that happens. When the ball gets rolling, against you, the momentum's rolling against you, and all of a sudden you look up and you're down 17 points. I mean, that's tough. But hey, they were all mistakes that we can correct, and they were just bad breaks our way, and that happens with the game. Sometimes the ball rolls your way, sometimes it doesn't. So yeah, I mean, it makes it a little frustrating just because a lot of the errors were kind of just because of us. But hey, give Florida State credit. I mean, they played a great game too. I mean, they outplayed us that game, and that's just the score showed it. So,
what's the value of having already played a big time opponent on the road? And just you didn't win the game, but you've already experienced an atmosphere that's pretty tough, and now you're going to another one. Is there value in that?
I think so. We got a lot of the young guys who are contributing big time for this team, and to have a game opener in Athens, I think really helped out just because a lot of times the young guys are getting into a big environment and not really know what to expect. Just because they haven't been there before. I mean, it's completely understandable, but I think it helps just because they kind of know the environment and the type of environment they're going into. And so, I mean, I would say that's nothing but a help and something that's positive for us.
Can you characterize your confidence as an older player in those younger guys who are obviously key if you're going to be able to score points in any game this season?
Yeah, I mean, the younger guys, really just kind of gotta talk to them and encourage them. I mean, I can see the same growth with the younger guys that was in me, the same kind of thought process of what is going on, freshman year, not having really any idea what's going on. But, I'm telling you, the younger guys we have, they're really smart, they're great athletes, and really they're picking up on a lot of the concepts and things that we do very quickly, and they're doing them really well, too. So, I think as y'all have seen in the first 2 games we've played, we've got a lot of freshmen who are going to contribute to this team this year, and we already have.
What thought pops into your mind when you hear that award chant? What's your initial reaction when you hear that?
My first thought is hearing that all go quiet when we were down there last time. We were up pretty much the whole game. We let that game go too. And for some reason, whenever I hear that chant, I remember being down there and just kind of realizing, man, we've played a really good game so far, and we let that game slide, and that was one we really should have made it out of Tallahassee with, and that's kind of one of those games that you think back on, but. I mean, that's all all part of their tradition. I mean, you hear that, that's you think Florida State, that's their tradition. So.
you're going to obviously see two quarterbacks a lot this season, two different guys. Is there an adjustment you have to make as a tight end, as a receiver, in how they spin the ball or how they pace the game? What are the differences in those two guys?
I mean, I wouldn't say you necessarily have to make an adjustment. I mean, you know, they both know the offense very well. They can run it very well. And so, you know, as far as the only adjustment I feel like, you know, you would make is maybe, you know, catching a ball from them might be just a little different. Not because, you know, of anything that has to do with them, but just, you know, they're different people. That's just kind of how, you know, how it is. But as far as making an adjustment, I mean, I wouldn't say, you know, that there's any major difference to say, you know, okay, Cole's going off the field, Deshaun's coming in, now I got to change something I'm doing. I don't think so.
Dan, you talked about the opportunity that you guys have this week. Is there any kind of, I don't know, agitation in the locker room? Are you guys still upset about what happened last year, and maybe this is an opportunity to give a little payback to the #1 team in the country that kind of spoiled your season last year?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't call it payback. I think any time that you lose to an opponent, especially one that you play every year, you know, you're always kind of chomping at the bit to play them again. You know, you never like to, you know, to end a game with that bad taste in your mouth against any opponent. And so, you know, we're ready to kind of put, especially last year and the year before that, behind us, and you know, ready to go on down there and try to get a win.
Team goal number 2 on the 5 that are in the team room is win the division. Does this become the game to win in the division, or is it just another game to win in the division?
I mean, obviously, it's a very important game to win the division. Any division game is a you know, big game. But you know, I think, you know, we go down there and you know, we beat Florida State. You know, it still doesn't matter if we lose to another team in the division. Really, any team that you plays in the division is a big game. And you know, this just happens to be you know, our first division game, and so it's the biggest one now.
Staying kind of a different topic, I just want to ask you about, since you've been here at Clemson, that new practice facility has come online. What does that say about the commitment of this place? And now it seems like a lot of other schools in the ACC and the region are trying to match what you guys have with that kind of facility.
Yeah, I mean, I think it shows that you know, the coaches, the staff, you know, they're all committed to you know, having us be the best, and really just committed to making the program the best that it can be and striving to be the best in the nation. You know, and really nowadays, you know, having facilities like this is just kind of, it's one of the steps you need to do. You know, you look all around the country, and you know, a lot of people have those things, and you know, it does make a difference. You know, when you bring in an 18-year-old kid and he's looking around and, you know, deciding where he wants to go play football, and you know, one place has a, you know, really nice indoor facility and one place doesn't. I mean, that affects a you know, a kid who, you know, really can't, you know, doesn't look past a year or 2 or 3, you know, in his life. And so, you know, I think facilities are huge for the development and the progression of our program.
Have you seen some of those wow moments when you're maybe hosting a recruit or a recruit's family on campus for a campus visit? Have you seen them kind of look at that place and get starry-eyed?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely. I think a lot of it, you know, most of the starry-eyed I've seen is really from the tradition we have, but because you know, we bring in a lot of guys who are some of the, you know, highly recruited guys in the nation, and you know, they see indoor facilities everywhere. You're like, okay, yeah, they got an indoor facility, you know. Yeah. But really, I think the huge attraction to Clemson, besides, you know, the coaching staff, the family atmosphere, the fans, you know, the tradition, it's just all of that combined, in my opinion. I think now having facilities is just, you know, a necessity to be kind of in the ballpark with those kind of recruits.
Anything else, James? Thanks, Sam.